If your antenna is so great, why can't it see through these trees? This one does. This is a 2 bay. Just a 2 bay antenna. 12 by 15. No boosters, no amplifiers, nothing. I have two. They do the job. Through the trees, through the cell towers, through everything. They're just built right. Now this particular antenna, the bows are 12 inches wide, giving you 24 plus the space here, 24 inches wide. The bays are 15 inches apart. The feed point is in the center. This is working extremely well for the lower UHF frequencies. Since the repack, many stations have moved into the lower frequencies. They are taking over 14, 15, 16 on through there. And it's presented a lot of problems. The longer bows are cut to fit the frequencies on the lower channels. They are matched almost exactly to the wavelength, and that's what you need. You need something that fits your wavelength. See, there you go. You got a good picture of the bows. You can see here that the materials I use are very tough. This is Florida. The aluminum gets a patina, the copper gets a patina, the reflector is galvanized. I hate rust. I don't want to see any rust. The hardware is all stainless steel, all of it. It's a little bit expensive, but it works very well. I don't solder the bell in place. They do go bad. They can go bad. Static from a nearby lightning strike usually burns them. You have to be careful. Always make sure your system is grounded, your mast, your antenna, your feed line, and you'll do well. On my website, I have a link to pages in Wikipedia that takes you back to the beginning of antenna theory. Why things are made that way, what's going on inside or with an antenna, and how the signal gets to your TV. It's always a good place to start learning about antennas before you start fooling around and going crazy trying to figure out why you can't get a station. There's always a reason why. And it usually doesn't involve boosters, filters, gizmos. Who the heck knows? People come up with things. It's unbelievable. This should be simple, people. An antenna, a wire, and a TV. That should be all you really need. Now you can see this antenna and the mast, both antennas, they're away from the house, 15, 17 feet, I forget. Anyway, this is Florida, I don't want the antenna anywhere near the house. Most people here don't. It has to do with the amount of lightning we get. Now in your area, it may be fine. You might get a lightning strike near your home once every 5 years. We get them every day. Every day. And it's quite scary sometimes. Over here is a stump that used to be a 100-foot pine tree that took a massive lightning hit. A lot of the static went through this antenna, was stopped by the grounding system, the mast ground, the feed line ground, it stopped it. It kept the static out of the house, because that was a big enough strike nearby to send enough static. It would have fried my TV. And that's the number one reason you ground your system, is to protect your equipment and protect your house. Your TV blows up, it's going to do some damage in the rest of the house, and that's something you have to think about. Always ground your system. But I just don't like it being near the house. This is a way, it's safe. I feel better. I sleep better at night. Here's a better look at that 12 by 15. You can see on the ends I curled that around just for safety. I started doing that recently. This 2 bay has no crossover at all. It's a different type of antenna. Really doesn't need it. But for me, in this area right here, this is working very, very well. Will it work for you? I have no idea. You need to do some math. You need to get to the theory page, do a little reading, understand what you're shooting at and why. And it's very important you understand what you're doing. If you're just throwing an antenna on the roof, you're going to be very frustrated. Do a little research first. It always helps. But right now, these are working very well here. They solved a lot of my lower frequency problems. I have a feeling it'll solve a lot of lower frequency problems for people everywhere. There is no one-size-fits-all solution. It's not possible. And it's a very good little antenna. The reflector makes it much better.